hotter as the day goes on. This is a beautiful live look over Horsetooth Reservoir. Gorgeous sunrise again, though, as we get ready to usher in those triple-digit temperatures. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jordan Chavez.
And I'm Corey Rose. Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen joins us now. Corey, we're looking at triple-digit temps into the weekend.
Yeah, and I think record-breaking temperatures. If we hit 102 today, it would break a record of 101 in Denver. As we look at another shot of that sunrise out there at Horsetooth Reservoir, beautiful looking shot, but that sun is going to start to create some pretty ugly temperatures here pretty quick. Still in the Denver area, looking pretty comfortable right now in the 60s, but we're headed up there pretty quick here. There's even a few upper 30s still kicking it around there in the high country. That's going to be our salvation. Probably places like Leadville not even going to make it to 80 degrees during this heat wave. So that'll be one place to go to hide from this heat. Here is the impact here we have for this heat timeline. We could be up into the 90s by 10 o'clock, up into the 100s by 1 o'clock. So it's a good 8 hours of high impact heat as we go through the day here with the temperatures in the upper 90s. Here is the forecast high temperatures for the rest of the region. Really hot to the west and to the east of the mountains. Do everything you can to stay cool today. Don't overwork your body. Stay hydrated and try to find those cool places, even if it is just a little bit of shade. Coming up, we'll be talking about that heat advisory, how long the heat's going to last today, and how long it's going to last for the next few days. But it will break down. This high pressure heat dome will break down on Monday, and we could introduce storms into the forecast, which could become severe by Tuesday.
All right, Corey, thank you. And heed those warnings about the heat, y'all. I was in Arizona a couple weeks ago, and I got heat exhaustion, and that is no joke. So please stay hydrated and don't be doing activities in the heat of the day like I did. It wasn't very smart. Let's help you get out the door right now, though. The drive is looking very quiet as we have a live look from our CDOT cameras on your Friday morning. 225 in Colfax moving along nicely. Same thing goes for I-25 in North Glen at 104th Avenue. Highway 36 in Baseline if you're going to be traveling up toward Boulder this morning. No delays for you. And then 6th Avenue in Sheridan moving along really nicely. And we're seeing the same thing on our map this morning as you get ready to maybe head out the door. If you're just turning us on, trying to see what the drive is looking like, I wouldn't say there's a rush out the door. Have that extra cup of coffee or tea or whatever helps you wake up in the morning. I do want to give you a heads up of some road work on westbound I-70 on the west side of town. If you're going to be traveling through Genesee, we've got a left lane closed between Grapevine Road and Genesee Drive. That's really the only thing you need to worry about right now. All green elsewhere. Denver to Boulder Drive right now will only take 16 minutes on westbound Highway 36.
We like Friday light. Erica, thank you. Today, jury selection is set to start for the doctor charged with drugging and sexually assaulting more than a dozen women. Stephen Matthews was arrested back in March of last year. He's facing more than 51 criminal charges. 13 women are accusing him of drugging them after meeting on dating apps. Some claim Matthews sexually assaulted them while sedated at his Denver home. Matthews pleaded not guilty to the charges. Jury selection is set to start at 8:30 this morning.
This morning, at least 3 more House Democrats are calling on President Joe Biden to suspend his campaign for president, bringing that number to more than a dozen. After a solo news conference last night and a poor debate performance last month, Democrats say they are worried Biden is not the strongest candidate. Despite that, Biden says he is still not stepping aside. He says he's the most qualified person to run.
Can you name me somebody who's got more major piece of legislation passed in 3.5 years? I created 2,000 jobs just last week.
But that's not what these lawmakers calling for him to step aside are worried about. They're worried about moments like this when he flubbed the name of his own vice president.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there.
NBC News is reporting even some of Biden's campaign officials say they don't see a path to victory and want him to drop out.
Also behind closed doors, CNN is reporting former President Barack Obama and Representative Nancy Pelosi have both said they're concerned about the campaign. They haven't said anything publicly yet, and Obama has been at Biden's side during campaign events this year. When it comes to Colorado's lawmakers, they've mostly avoided answering questions about Biden's future.
Yeah, Senator Michael Bennet was the first Senate Democrat to publicly say he thinks Biden could lose. So far, he's only said that there should be an open conversation about Biden's chances, and the White House has not shown they have a plan to win. On Monday, NBC's Lester Holt will sit down with President Joe Biden for a one-on-one conversation. The full interview will air in a primetime special at 7 p.m. on 9 News.
It's 6:05 right now. Former President Donald Trump is trying to get his conviction in the hush money case dismissed. His lawyers are tying the request to the recent Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. The hush money payments happened before Trump was president, but his lawyers say during the trial, the DA's office used evidence related to Trump's official acts as president. Official acts are protected under the Supreme Court's decision. The DA's office says they'll respond later this month.
Some good news for your wallet this morning. After years of rising inflation, prices are starting to drop for the first time. Last month, consumer prices dropped by 0.1%. Lower gas and car prices contributed to that, but housing, food, and medical service costs are still rising, and interest rates are sitting at a 23-year high. The Fed could start cutting interest rates soon and help make borrowing money less expensive.
This, coupled with the report on the jobs market last week, all of that aligning for the Federal Reserve to begin cutting interest rates perhaps as soon as September.
We are expecting to get our next look at the state of inflation next month. That's when the Consumer Price Index for July will be released.
New this morning, the clock is ticking for Dollar General to make its stores safer. They have less than 48 hours to do it and just agreed to a settlement with the Department of Labor yesterday. Dozens of people have died working or shopping at Dollar Generals in the past decades, and employees have protested against unsafe conditions in stores. This new agreement requires Dollar General to hire new safety managers and provide new training. They'll also have to stop blocking fire exits with extra merchandise. On top of that, the company has to pay $12 million in penalties, and any more violations could be up to $500,000 each.
And today will be the second 100-degree day of the year here in Denver, which means it will be the sixth 90-degree day, getting us up to 22 for the year. Well on pace to beat that 46. Last year on July 12th, this day was only the third 90-degree day. Good news here is the comparison to 2020 is we're about 8 days a little short of that, so we're at least short of the pace of the record, Elo.
All right, Corey, thank you so much. I like that nickname. We call him C-Rep, Elo, you know. We're having a great day on this Friday. And it's a great day for your drive right now. Shockingly, no slowdowns yet if you're going to be traveling into Commerce City on westbound 76. That drive-in from E470 is only going to take 11 minutes, and we're in fantastic shape as well on I-70 in the metro between I-25 and 225. We're looking at an 8-minute commute both directions, eastbound and westbound. Now, if you're looking for a different way to get to work today, you are in luck. Our Keely Chalmers is in Boulder getting ready for Tube to Work Day. Good morning, Keely.
Hey, good morning, Erica. Yeah, you know, we hear about Bike to Work Day, but I think on this day, when we're going to reach triple-digit heat, why not ditch the bike and hit the water? This is a National Tube Day, or International Tube to Work Day here in Boulder, and this is an annual event. I'm joined with event director Lance Panagudi. This is quite unique. For those of the viewers who might not know exactly what this is, again, tubing to work, actually tubing in the creek, Boulder Creek, to work, but it's got a little bit of a twist.
So it started 17 years ago, and it started with a bet. It was the co-founders, Jeff and his best friend. They decided, you know what, forget Bike to Work Day. Can we tube to our office, which is right off Boulder Creek? And they did it. Next year, they kept inviting friends, and next thing you know, we have 500 tubers. We have City of Boulder super involved, very supportive with the fire department, dive team. And we turned Boulder Creek into like a whimsical fairy tale that has mermaids, bacon fishing. We have donuts falling from trees at one point. I'll just leave it at that.
And this year has a theme, so it's been going on for years, but this is the first year you actually have a theme.
We've always had amazing costumes over the years. Unicorns, ducks, Barbie on a float. This year, Mad Max.
Oh, there you go. Here's one of the tubes. Right here, here's a sample of some of the crazy stuff going on in the creek this morning. Now, folks had to register. You have, 500 folks already registered for the event that starts at 8:15 this morning. But folks can come up and register in person this morning, even if they haven't already.
They can. It's $22 for a ticket, and they just need the safety personnel. So they need a helmet, chin strap, life jacket, and closed-toed shoes. If they have the safety gear, they're good to go.
And for a good cause.
Yep. So 25% of every ticket goes to Boulder Bridge House, which works with the Boulder community to help the homeless.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us again. 8:15, the tubers will hit the water. We'll be out here to give you an update. Corey and Jordan, back to you.
That is where you want to be on a day like this.
Big time.
Yeah.
So much fun. Keely, thank you.